Be confident, be bold, be authentic, but don't forget to take action. This is Ordinary to Badass, where our stories empower women to step into the spotlight of their own lives and pursue what they're truly passionate about. It's time to step into the arena and become more than just extraordinary. It's time to become a badass with your host, Marie Sonneman.
Welcome to Ordinary to Badass, episode number 133. In episode 132, you heard from Angie Wisdom. Angie is a speaker and a coach who helps you find personal excellence so that you can achieve meaningful success and, of course, live a meaningful life. So in the last episode, she talked a lot about how you can use values as your fuel. If you missed it, go back, give it a listen. It was definitely worth it. But if you're short on time, check out this 3 reasons why Angie Wisdom is so badass. And then you can always go back and check out the other one later if you haven't listened to it yet. All right, let's switch it up a little bit and talk about upcoming things with Ordinary to Badass. There's going to be a retreat coming, and it is going to be so epic. So much fun with other badasses just like you, and I want you to be there. So make sure that you're on the waiting list so that you can find out all the information. It's like, guys, we just were in lockdown for how long? For a good year and a half for most of us. So now is the time to gather and talk and connect. And we are going to gather and plan our future and talk with other badasses, but mainly it's going to be surrounded by the topics of health, personal finances, and your relationships, because those 3 core things are so important to have in your life. And then, of course, there's going to be a splash of adventure sprinkled in there. So it's going to be so much fun, and I don't want you to miss it. So jump on the wait list. The link will be in the show notes and also in the podcast episode notes here. Make sure that you go check it out because this retreat is going to be so amazing. And I know that it's going to sell out so quick. So get on the wait list before it actually opens up so that you can be notified when it's coming. All right. With that, let's get to the episode. Welcome to Ordinary to Badass. Whether you're ordinary or badass, I'm so glad you're here. Today, I'm talking about 3 reasons why Angie Wisdom is so badass. I know that you're going to love this episode. If you haven't listened to Angie's episode, definitely go back and check it out. So, you want to know why I think Angie's badass? Let me tell you. 3 reasons why Angie Wisdom is so badass. 1, she focuses on her controllables. 2, she's intentional about her day. And 3, she schedules her values. All right, let's get to it. So, Angie said her and her husband had a business and they had a clearing firm that was a major corporation who filed bankruptcy, and that greatly affected their business. And it was stressing her out. She said she just tried to push through it or muscle through it. And she realized she couldn't do that anymore. She had to make a change. She said that she was letting too much of those thoughts control her, which is when she started focusing on what she has control over. What are your controllable thoughts? What are things that you can't control? So Angie suggests that you write down a list. And on one side, you put your controllables, and the other side, you put your uncontrollables. So this way, you can focus on all of the things that you have control over. And it's empowering and encouraging because you can see what you can do. We often get stuck in all of the things that we don't have control over. All of the things that we can't change. No matter what we do, we can't change. You can control yourself, but you can't control other people or other businesses or how they run their businesses. So to do so is just a moot point. So what are you struggling with in your life? And can you sit down and write a list of your controllables and your uncontrollables? When we focus on we just focus on the uncontrollables and just get stressed out, or it gets us stressed out, right? And then we're just thinking all the problems, all the possibilities, all the ways that things can go wrong. And we don't give any ownership to ourselves. We don't give ourselves the chance to bounce back from it. Because if you can bounce back from some hard things, how badass is that, right? If you can look at what you can control and take action based on that, that's badass. We don't always have to power through everything or go hard charging. And man, I'm telling you that as I struggle with this. I've struggled with this for a while now. So I'm telling myself just as much as I'm telling you, focus on the controllables. Throw out some of those uncontrollables and stop worrying about just powering through things. Do things that are healthy for you. Do things that'll benefit you. Sometimes it's a matter of testing. What works for Angie isn't going to work for you and may not work for me. We all have different things that work for us. But I think that all the guests that come on the show, they are total badasses. I would not be bringing them on here if they weren't. So when they recommend something, it's because it's worked for them. And possibly if they're in business, then it's worked for their clients too. Why not give it a shot? Take the parts that work for you, implement them in your life, and give them a real chance. Don't just say, I'll try it for a day and then be done. No, give it a real chance. Implement it in your life for 30 days, say, and then see what changes you feel. Give it a real chance. Give it a go, because these badasses have such great tips, and I know that they can be so impactful for you, which is why there's a separate episode here, why Angie Wisdom is so badass, right? There's a separate episode highlighting their badassery, because I want that for you too. I want you to see the success and see the wins that these guests are seeing, that Angie's seen. You are a badass, my friend, and I want to remind you of that. Even if you suck at powering through things, even if you're great at powering through things, even if you're good at focusing on the controllables or no matter what your situation, you are a badass, and you need to remember that. Just like the guests that are on the show, you are a badass, and you have all of this stuff inside of you too. Okay, I will stop going on my rant, but I don't know that you hear that enough. It's not just the guests on the show that are badasses, it's you too. All right, let's get to the next thing, right? The second thing that I think is so badass about Angie Wisdom is that she is intentional about her days. It's so important to be intentional about what you want out of life, which life is the big picture, right? So let's take it from the macro, from the big picture to the micro, your daily, to the minute by minute or the day by day. And that's what I love and think is so badass about what Angie was talking about, is because she was talking about setting your intentions every single day. Even if you're setting 5 intentions a day, then write them down. Be specific, she says. Be very specific about the things that you want to accomplish, the things that you want to be intentional about. Because if you're not specific, if you don't know, how will you know if you accomplish those things? So write down 5 things that would be so important for you to accomplish today or tomorrow, right? Every single day, write down 5 things that you want to be intentional about. And I know I've talked about this before and I've probably harped on it, but I wasn't finding joy in my life, which sucked. I mean, it sucked. But until I became intentional about finding joy, until I became intentional about doing the things that made me happy, even if I looked a little bit stupid, even if I looked awkward, I became intentional. I'm going to have some dance parties. I'm going to sing, download Amazon Prime, right? They have a music app, which comes with your Amazon Prime. Okay, cool. So that I downloaded my favorite songs and I listened to those. And that makes me happy. Or if I'm feeling kind of or down, then I make sure to listen to some music. But listening to that music makes me happy. I don't care if I can't sing a stinking tune, because I can't. I really cannot. If you remember William Hung from back in the day from American Idol, that was probably the one person that I remember or even watched, but I digress. He could not sing, but who cares? If he loved it, then it's worth it. So I love singing and dancing and having fun to music, and I've always kind of been into music. It just wasn't cool who I was around, or my siblings didn't think it was cool, or whatever. I mean, it just wasn't cool when I was a kid, or the people that I surrounded myself didn't think it was cool. But guess what? I think it's cool now, even if I suck, even if I can't carry a tune, I can't dance a rhythm, or catch a rhythm or whatever. Meh, it's cool because I like it. And that is enough for you. Find the things that bring you joy. Find the things that you want to get done, and be intentional. And I'm not necessarily talking about a checklist here, right? You don't have to be like, I need to get my kitchen cleaned. I need to do this for my kids. I need to do this for my spouse. No. Be intentional about what you want to get done. How do those align with your values? How do they align with your goals, right? How do they align with bringing you joy? All of those things are so very important. So I like that Angie makes it a practice of being intentional and setting 5 things every single day that she wants to be intentional about. It's like, I wonder if you set 5 intentions every single day, like first thing when you woke up, or maybe even first thing before you go to bed, you write them for the next day. And then just review them when you get up in the morning. So if you're not a morning person, write them at night. Who cares? Don't let that be the thing that stops you. But I wonder, if you wrote 5 things every single day, how would that change your life? How would you feel in 1 week? Like, write down those 5 things, try to implement them every day, and then check back with yourself. How do you feel in a week? I bet that you would see a drastic change, that you would see like a increase in your energy, right? So you might be hearing, I feel like I'm talking a lot with my hands today. So if you're hearing stuff by the microphone, it's either my hands whirling past the microphone, or it's my dogs down there panting because it's pretty dang hot today in Washington State. But again, I'm off track. All right, let's get to reason number 3, why Angie Wisdom is so badass. The third reason Angie is a total badass is because she schedules her values. And I know we just talked about being intentional, right? But she puts her values first and foremost, and then arranges her life around her values. So if you're going to do this, if you want to schedule your values, I would just say, take some time and write them down first. Sit down, write down a list of all of your values, like 10 values, 20 values, 5 values, I don't care. Sit down and write them down. If you're married, it may not be a bad idea to sit down with your spouse and come up with both of your values. Each of you list values, right, that you have, and then maybe combine them. Like, you get 5 values, your spouse gets 5 values. And then you come up with a family thing. So if you have kids, then make decisions based off those values. Even if you don't have kids, heck, the 2 of you can make decisions with each other based on your values. Or maybe you just write down all the shared values. Okay, do that. And make decisions based off your shared values. So Angie talked about scheduling her values. And what was important to her was spirituality and time alone, right? So she tried to make sure that those things were put into her daily schedule. As silly as it sounds, sometimes we have to schedule things that we love doing, or schedule things that bring us joy, or schedule things that align with our values, just so that we will do them. So if you need to, schedule it in your phone and make that a non-negotiable, right? Because after all, it's your values. It's what's important to you. So don't let somebody else feel guilty or make you feel guilty for not being able to do something. Nope, sorry. I'm spending some alone time. You don't have to have plans with somebody else or plans doing something. You can just say no, because you are important. You are worth it. And of course, the cliche saying, like, every time you say yes to someone else, every time you say yes to someone else, you're saying no to yourself. And I would say, if you don't feel like you're worth it, if you don't feel like you're worth saying yes to yourself, then you need it even more. You need the time with yourself so that you can really get in touch with yourself, appreciate yourself, that kind of thing. I'll get off my high horse here, but I really think that you need to say yes to yourself. Schedule some things that align with your values. So I absolutely agree with Angie on that. And of course, that's why she's so badass. Now I want to ask you, what of these things are you doing? Are you scheduling your values? Or at least being intentional about them? Do you have them written down somewhere? How about your day? Are you being intentional about that? Are you doing things during your day that you want to get done? Doing things that make you happy? Light you up? And then lastly, what are you focusing on? Are you focusing on the things you can control or the things you can't control? Just a little tidbit on that. Like, we all have crappy things that happen to us. We do. It's so easy for every single human being on this planet, unless you're like just born, right? Or day old. We all have problems. We all have issues. We could all be the victim of something. And I'm not minimizing people that are actually the victim of crimes and stuff. Not minimizing that. I'm just saying there's so much that we can't control that if we focus on, it's just going to take you down. So what are you focusing on? The controllables or the uncontrollables? I don't know. It feels like it's been a minute since I've done an episode like why so-and-so is so badass, right? But I say this like every dang time, but I don't think that you can hear it enough. Definitely, if this episode, if the prior episode where you heard Angie talk had an impact on you, make sure that you reach out to Angie and tell her. People that are guests on podcasts and stuff, they are vulnerable. They share things. They give like badass advice or cool things that we can implement. So it's so awesome when you can reach out and be like, thank you so much. You have changed my life. You have done X for me. I did this. I did what you taught me about values or intentions, and I put it in my daily routine. And then as a result, this is what happened. Let them know, because I guarantee you, people don't hear it enough, and they need to hear the impact that they are having on this world. So definitely make sure that you reach out to Angie and you let her know what an impact she had on you, because again, it is so important. And who knows what you can do for her by telling her, as with all of our guests, right? If they have any sort of impact on you, make sure to reach out and tell them what you learned from them, what they helped you change, overcome, that sort of thing. So Angie is on Instagram, Angie Wisdom, or Angie Wisdom Life Coach. Reach out. Actually, no, better yet, take a screenshot of this episode, throw it in your Instagram stories, and tag me and tag Angie and let us know what you thought of the episode. Let us know your takeaways or the impact that it had on you. All right. With that, I will let you go. You are such a badass. Do not give up. I know that you're doing amazing, amazing things, and I am proud of you. And I love you. Absolutely. All right. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, own it and get after it.
Now that you've listened to this episode of Ordinary to Badass, we want to hear from you. Go to our website, ordinarytobadass.com/podcast, and submit your own experience on how you took your life from ordinary to badass and get the chance to be on a future Spotlight episode of the show. That's ordinarytobadass.com/podcast. While you're waiting for the next episode of the show, wipe off the sweat, dust off the dirt, and get back in the arena.